Love Story of Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare. Once upon a time, in the bustling city of Verona, two noble families, the Montagues and the Capulets, were locked in an age-old feud. Amidst this bitter enmity, fate wove a tragic love story that would forever be etched in the annals of history. At the heart of this tale were two young souls, Romeo Montague and Juliet Capulet. Romeo, a handsome and passionate young man, roamed the streets of Verona with a heavy heart, yearning for something more profound than the superficial life his privileged status offered him. Juliet, a captivating and intelligent young woman, found herself trapped in a world of strict traditions, longing for the freedom to love and choose her destiny. One fateful evening, the Capulets hosted a lavish ball, and rumors of this extravagant affair reached the ears of Romeo and his friends, Benvolio and Mercutio. Despite the long-standing feud, they decided to attend the masquerade, hoping to find some solace from the burdens of their lives. Little did they know that this decision would change their destinies forever. As Romeo stepped into the Capulet estate, his eyes met Juliet's for the first time. It was an instant connection, an inexplicable force that drew them together like magnets. Unaware of each other's identities and the bitter feud that separated their families, they danced, enchanted by the other's presence. The night wore on, and in the hidden corners of the Capulet estate, Romeo and Juliet discovered each other's true identities. Fearful yet undeterred by the consequences, they chose to follow their hearts rather than the expectations society had placed upon them. Their love blossomed like the most exquisite flower, a forbidden romance that grew stronger with every stolen moment. However, the heavens had other plans. As the sun set on the horizon, the reality of their situation began to dawn upon them. Their love could not flourish in the shadows forever, and the feud between their families loomed over them like a menacing storm cloud. Seeking guidance and solace, Romeo sought the counsel of Friar Lawrence, a wise and compassionate man. Despite the risks, the friar agreed to marry the young couple, hoping their union might bring an end to the feud that had claimed so many lives. The clandestine marriage brought a glimmer of hope to Romeo and Juliet, but it could not shield them from the harsh reality of their circumstances. As tensions escalated between the Montagues and the Capulets, Mercutio, Romeo's loyal friend, fell victim to the feud's violence. Consumed by grief and rage, Romeo sought revenge, leading to a fatal altercation where he ended the life of Juliet's cousin, Tybalt. Chaos engulfed Verona, and both families demanded justice for their fallen kin. The Prince of Verona, desperate to put an end to the bloodshed, banished Romeo from the city. Separated from Juliet, he faced a future filled with longing and regret. With her heart shattered, Juliet turned to Friar Lawrence once again. Desperate to escape her impending marriage to Paris, a suitor chosen by her parents, she agreed to a risky plan devised by the friar. He gave her a potion that would make her appear lifeless for a short time, fooling her family into believing she was dead. Then, once she woke, she and Romeo could be reunited in secret. Trusting the plan, Juliet returned to her home and took the potion. Unaware of her actions, her family mourned her apparent death and laid her to rest in the Capulet tomb. Alas, fate had one last cruel twist in store for the star-crossed lovers. The message intended for Romeo, explaining the plan, never reached him. Instead, he received word that Juliet had perished. Heartbroken and devastated, Romeo rushed back to Verona to see his beloved one last time. Upon arriving at the tomb, Romeo found Paris mourning Juliet. Unable to control his emotions, he engaged in a duel with Paris, ultimately slaying him. Grief-stricken, he then drank a vial of poison, hoping to join Juliet in death. As Juliet stirred from her slumber, she found her worst nightmare had come true. In her arms, she held the lifeless body of her beloved Romeo. Overwhelmed by grief, she took his dagger and ended her own life, choosing to be with him in death rather than endure a life without him. The tragic tale of Romeo and Juliet spread like wildfire through Verona. The feud between the Montagues and Capulets finally came to an end, but it was too late for the young lovers whose love was destined for eternity but tragically cut short by the hatred of their families. Verona learned a heartbreaking lesson that day, as the story of Romeo and Juliet served as a haunting reminder of the destructive power of hate and the devastating consequences of prejudice. Their love story became a timeless symbol of passionate devotion and the irrevocable cost of intolerance, inspiring generations to come to strive for a more compassionate and understanding world. And so, the memory of Romeo and Juliet lived on, woven into the fabric of history and eternally etched upon the hearts of those who heard their tale.